So in this episode, actually it's 1 or 3 episodes. I thought I would be able to do it in 1 episode, but it turned out to be more than an hour, so I'm splitting it up to 3 episodes. Anyway, you would learn how to accept the user sign up, how they can create an account. We will work with something called sessions to sign in and then make sure it terminates when the user signs out. And we're also going to create separate admin authorization. So we will again work with the model view controller paradigm. We will use something called bcrypt that can encrypt our passwords. And I will also introduce you to the Rails console where you can access the database from. All right, so let's get started again. Alrighty, so open up the terminal and I will make the window a little bigger for the text so you can see it. Alright, so let's cd into our projects directory. So I type cd ror projects/blog. Hit enter, then I type add-on space dot to open up my text editor. So you open up your text editor. Then let's open up a new tab for our server. So in the new tab, type Rails space S. Alright. So now text editor open up, but let's go and check if the server is running. Server is running. Let's go and check and open up our browser and see if our web app is visible clearly and up and running. Alright, so localhost /3000. Alright, okay, good. So what we want to do, we want to create a user to be able to sign up and sign in, and we're going to get rid of this HTTP authentication. Okay, so let's go back to our home page. There. Okay, so go to the terminal, and not the where you have the Rails servers, but the other tab. And here you're going to type Rails G, type resource users, and then space, type user ID :string, then email :string, then type password :digest. This will help with give the password security some help. Okay, and the resource creates a model and create a controller, and it creates the corresponding routes. Hit enter. Great. So now it's created all those things. Let's go to the text editor and go to your DB folder and check the migrate folder. So here we have the file that we want to migrate to the database so it can create the table. We have the user's ID and all the other things. Open up the schema file. So here we have the outline for our tables. Go back to the terminal and let's type Rails space DB :migrate to migrate our database. Okay, it's migrated. Let's go back to the DB folder and let's look in our schema file again. Okay, there we go. When you scroll down, we now have this table created in the database. And remember, the schema file just shows us how the table looks like. It doesn't really do anything. Okay, now let's go to the app folder and let's go to the models and open up the user model. Okay, this thing here they call has_secure_password will help with our password protection. But in order for that to really work, go to the gem file and open it up. Scroll down to where you see bcrypt, or it might say bcrypt-ruby, and then uncomment that, take away the hashtag. Bcrypt's, I think it's 128 encryption will encrypt our password. Go to the terminal and let's run bundle install to make the bcrypt take effect. Okay, clear it. Now go to the server window and type Control-C to stop the server, and then just restart it. If you remember when we work with the gem files, we usually restart the server. And also I'm going to just refresh the web page to make sure it works correctly. Okay, all right, so let's get started here. Now here, let's type Rails routes to look at the routes it's created when we did the resource table. All right, so here we go. So now we see we have the users, we have the index, we have the users controller, the index action, create, new, edit. We will use the index, new, create, and probably destroy. Go to the controllers and the users controller. Let's create our actions. So here type first def, index, and end. Leave this empty. And here the next one, let's create the new action. So type def, new, type end for end, and here type at users or user equal user.new. And let's make our create action. So type def create, type end right away, and in here type at user equals user.new, and then we need to put in parentheses, and we're going to type the params that we will pass. So in here type user underscore params, which will be our passing our private parameters that we will create, and then type if at user.save. Then let's redirect to the articles page. So that's going to check in the terminal for our routes and see what routes that was. All right, that says articles. So we need articles underscore path. So then here type articles underscore path. And then comma, and let's put a notice in. So type notice colon and quotation marks, and let's just type welcome. And then we're going to use this interpolation again, which we did before. Hashtag curly bracket, type at user dot user ID, and close the curly bracket. I think it's called interpolation, by the way. And then type you successfully created an account. Okay. Good. Then we want a condition that if something goes wrong, so then else render new. So then it just renders the new action instead if something goes wrong, and then type end for the if statement. Now let's create in a private method those user params. So type private, and then in here type def user underscore params, and in here let's go to our articles controller to remind ourselves the structure of this syntax. So params dot require and all those things. So back in the users controller, type params dot require parentheses, and in here colon user, and after the closing parenthesis type dot permit parenthesis again, type colon user ID comma colon email comma colon password comma, and then we will type colon password confirmation. So this is the parameters that is exist now when we are doing the digest and for the encryption. Right? So save that and go to the views folder now and go to the users folder, and here we will create the new and the index files. So I do a right mouse click and then I can type new.html.erb. Alright, and let's create the index file as well. So right mouse click again and then I type index.html.erb. We will not really use this index file, but since we have an index action, it will protest if we don't have one. So here I will just give it an h1 tag and then just type the path where it is. So views/users/index. We can later create an index file here where we list all the users, just as we listed all the subscribers. Alright, so we can close that and then go to articles and then to the new file. So we will follow the structure in this file to create the forms. So we just copy the styling first and then change the, instead of 10%, change it to 0, and then I change the column to 4, and here just say create an account. Okay, then go back to the articles new file and then copy everything, the close and div tags in the bottom, and let's go and paste it in our new users file, right? And I copied the links as well here. And let's change this, instead of back, let's change this to articles. Okay. We will now use the inherent error display if something goes wrong. So, but first here I'm going to open up the Ruby syntax and type form_for at user do pipe sign, type F, then another pipe sign, and then close the Ruby syntax. And now go back to the articles new file again, and let's copy everything where it says from div class style 100%, all the output for the errors down to where the f.label starts, but not that to the end, Ruby syntax ending there, and go and paste it back into the new users new file. Okay, now we need to change everywhere where it says add article, we need to change that to add user. So here just type user, and the next one below here type add user or just user, and here again the last one. So I just type user. Now save everything. Alright. Okay, now we need to put in the forms for the user input, but I will actually put in a little comment here for myself that this is for checking the errors. Alright, so open up the Ruby syntax, less than sign, percentage sign, equal sign, and type f.text_field, and then colon, user ID, comma, and let's put a placeholder, so type placeholder, colon, quotation marks, input, user ID. Okay, and comma, and let's put in a style class, but I think we can just go and copy the style from the articles form. So here copy this, including the comma sign, and let's go and paste it in right here instead. There we go. Let's make sure it's a comma between the user ID and the class. and then close the Ruby syntax, and then the next line and do the next form input. So type f.email underscore field, and then colon email, and then comma, and then a placeholder again, and colon, and then quotation, type input your email. And then after here you should just be able to paste in the class again for the style. Close the Ruby syntax, and then next one we need to have the password input now. So open up the Ruby syntax again, type f.password underscore field. So this is a password field for password input. Type colon password, comma, and then placeholder, colon, and let's do quotation, and then create a password. Oopsie. There we go. And then comma, no, not comma, yeah. Paste in the form control again. Okay, close the Ruby syntax, and then here we need to do the password confirmation field. It's the same thing. We type f.password underscore field. So underscore field there, and here colon. Wait, I have a mistake there. Oops, password, W-O-R-D. And anyway, down below here, type password, and since it saves, I just saw that I'm actually having a mistake there. Atom saves so you can reuse easily, but this time it actually helped me to see that I have a mistake in the users controller, in the private method. I had forgotten an R there. So anyway, back in the new html.erb, type comma, and then a placeholder again, colon, and let's type confirm password. And then you can just paste in the class with the form control. Oops, I have 2 commas there, I need only 1. And then close the Ruby syntax, and then we need a submit button. So open up the Ruby syntax again with an equal sign, type f.submit, and then let's put in a create account. And then close the Ruby syntax. Okay, save everything. Let's go and check it out. Alright, okay. So we don't have any links yet, so we need to see what the path is. So new user, there we go. So we need to /users/new. Put that into the address bar. So after here, /users/new. Hit enter. Oopsie, I have an end. So it's an end in the controller. So users controller. So when I created the private method, I forgot to put in an end right here. Maybe you caught that and already fixed that yourself. Okay, back in the browser, refresh. Okay, another end that is in the new file we just created. Alrighty, okay, I got excited. There needs an end here too, and without the equal sign. Right, let's scroll up to make sure I didn't forget anything else. So I'm going to start from here. Move upward, I'm scanning, and do end ends, and then if there, okay. I think I caught something here, yes. That /ul, the closing of the unordered list, should be after the end statement there. Now back in the browser, refresh. Now it should work, yes. I forgot something else. This means I had forgot a closing div statement. So we need a closing div tag right down here. So after this end, but before the p tag, close the div tag. Because this corresponds to this div tag up here. Anyway, back in the browser, refresh. There we go. All right. Now let's try to create an account. So I would just do test user, and then I put in a test at testing.com. Then I'm going to create a random password, and then I confirm the password, and then I click create account. Alright, perfect. So I hope it worked for you too. Welcome test user, you successfully created an account. Alright, go to the terminal and go to where you have your server running. And let's check things out. Check out something here. You see where it says password underscore digest. So this gibberish has BCRYPT has fixed our password, so we've got encrypted. Now open up another tab. I'm gonna make you do something we haven't done yet. So open up another tab, and in here type Rails space C. This is gonna start something called the Rails console, and here we can actually access our database data. So type here user.all. This will list all the users that we have created, which is only one so far. So if you see, it starts with user ID. We gave it a user ID of 1 because we were the first user. Then user ID called it test user. And then we have this password digest. So this is an encrypted. It means like it doesn't store the password in the database. Stores an encrypted variation of it. But that 2A $ in the beginning, that's inherent for BCRYPT encryption program. Alright, back in the text editor, go and open up your navigation file in the shared folder, in the views folder, and here let's create a link for create a new account. So open up an li tag and type class equals nav item, and then let's close that li tag, and in here open up the Ruby syntax with an equal sign, and then type link underscore to, and let's go and check out what link. Actually, we need to give it a name first, so give it the name of create account, and then comma, and now let's go and see. So we need it to go to new user, so new underscore user underscore path. Alright, and let's style it. So class colon, and in here I think so here the other one was styled by active underscore nav link. That was the custom for that helper method, but we can do nav link here. I think that's fine. And close the Ruby syntax. Save it. Okay, let's check the browser. Refresh. Alright, so we'll create account. But it doesn't highlight, it doesn't underline when I'm hovering over it. So I think we need that active underscore anyway for the class. So back in the navigation file here, type active underscore then okay. So in the browser, refresh. Good. Alright, click on it. Here we go. Now we have our nice form. So let's create a second user. So I'll do another user. And then it's something else we actually need to check. We need to check so the emails doesn't double up. Okay? So go to your models and open up the users. Actually, go to your controllers and open up your subscribers controller. Remember last time when we checked if a subscriber existed, we did this kind of long thing here. Well, it's not long, but it's a couple of sentences. So, but now we're going to do it a little differently and much easier. In the users model here, type validates underscore uniqueness. So that is UNIQUENESS, an underscore of. So validates uniqueness of and colon email, because that's what we want to validate the uniqueness of. So then we refresh again in the browser. So let's create again a user ID, another user, and let's actually put in the email we just created, and then put in a password and then confirm the password. I just want to show you what the error happens when you put in an email that exists. Sure enough, here we go. So it says email has already been taken. Okay, so anyway, you can just put in a 2 here instead. And so put in the password again, and then I put in a password because you confirm it. But let me mess up the password instead. I'm making a mistake purposely. So create account. Again, sure enough, since the passwords didn't match, then we got an error message for that too. Alright, so let's just put in equal passwords now. And I put in the same password. And then create account. Alright, great. Welcome another user. You successfully created an account. Okay, perfect. So that works nicely. Alright, so let's go to your Rails console again and type users.all. So here we go. We have a test user now here, and then we have another user. So we have 2 users was created. Okay, this is it for today. I have made the other video. It will be up shortly in a day or so, where we would do sessions for the sign in and sign out use for the user. All right. I see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.